that the water came very suddenly. It wasn't like the water level has been rising. This is what we are seeing repeated over and over again wherever we are going. People are talking about the fact that the water came with a flow, with a rush. It was like a rush of water, in many ways what I can say maybe a flash flood type scenario. Why and how? It shouldn't have happened. But they said they didn't have enough time to grab anything except their children. They grabbed their children and they ran. That was all they were able to salvage. This particular group of people women I'm talking to over here, and they have lost everything. They're saying that everything has rotted. That's what I heard over and over again. It has solidified. It has rotted. And obviously the water mixed with the clay of the water, of the sand, the water is murky. That water, even as it's going to drain out of their homes, is going to leave a substantial level of clay and stuff on it, and that actually destroys everything. And they've also lost their livestock as well as their crops. That's what they're saying. So they're saying, where our future is going to come from? Where is our livelihood going to come from again? पिछले साल तो पानी नहीं आया था ना? नहीं अभी आया। And again, Manaz is telling me, of course, same story. They were not affected by the great flood of 2010 last year. They were not affected. This time round, it's been a disaster for them. The women in the camp told us that there was a health facility with a woman doctor present, and so we decided that we should come here and ask them what exactly they are seeing. And with me now is Dr. Shaida. She's from the Sami Foundation of Umerkot, and she says she's been here since September 13th, coming here on a daily basis to particularly treat the women. There's also a male doctor premises on the present here. So let's talk to Dr. Shaida and find out what kind of problems she has been facing over here. Dr. Shaida, आप हमें बता सकती हैं कि यहाँ पे खास तौर पे किस किस्म की बीमारियों के साथ लोग आ रहे हैं?
जी, यहाँ पे डायरिया है, डायसेंट्री है, गैस्ट्रो है और मलेरिया के।
Dr. Shada tells us that the cases of dysentery, malaria, gastroenteritis, night blindness, and several miscarriages, and women who are pregnant coming here with false labor pains because they get cramps because of the diarrhea and the dysentery, and they think that they're going into labor, so that's going to be a problem. And nutrition has been a problem.
जी बिल्कुल, वो पहले से एनीमिक हैं, जहाँ से आ रहे हैं वो।
The problem is basically it's lack of hygiene, and that's what's causing the gastroenteritis. Of course, they don't have clean water, and that's why the pregnancies and all these things, and the lack of nutrition. They're already anemic. Dr. Shada says that they come from poor backgrounds, so they're already anemic, and then the conditions under which they're living is exacerbating everything that's happening. कितनी हामला ख़वातीन होंगी इस वक्त कैंप में अंदाज़न?
अभी हमारे 13 डेट से लेकर हम यहाँ पे हैं तो।
Okay, just to recap that for you, Dr. Shada is telling me that at least 10 miscarriages have occurred since she's been here, and that's been about 2.5 weeks. And there are about 600 to 700 pregnant women in this area alone. That's a lot of women that are going to need a lot of help. And 2 cases that she's met with where there were stillbirths. The women gave birth, but the babies were dead. She saw them after that had already happened. That presumably must have happened probably during the floods, we would guess. Dr. Shada, आपको यहाँ पे किस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है?
हम यहाँ पे ये कहेंगे कि यहाँ पे जो लोग हैं उनके साथ पीने के पानी का प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा है.
Dr. Shahid, of course, pointed out something critical, is that people have brought their livestock, their cattle with them, and that cattle creates solid waste, and that solid waste is mixing, the excrement is mixing into the water, and people are still drinking that. The buffaloes are being bathed in the same water that people are washing their clothes, their buffaloes and children in the same water. That's causing the diseases, and the fear that the doctors have over here is the fact that they've had 2 reports of possible dengue fever in Umerkot, which they've referred on further. One case, of course, was confirmed to us in Kundri village that came back positive for dengue. And if that is not brought under control, as we were talking earlier, that mosquito nets are now going to be required for these camps, possibly more urgently now than tents, because an outbreak of dengue in this area will be a disaster, an absolute disaster. And I can't even begin to imagine that a place like Lahore is overwhelmed because of dengue. What's going to happen over here? Dr. Shada was just telling me that they don't have the facilities. They'll have to refer them onwards to Umerkot, to Hyderabad and to Karachi. And it's going to be a logistic nightmare to get people who may have dengue or suspected to have dengue, taking their blood and then sending it to Karachi for testing, getting it back, and then sending sick people onto those hospitals. I don't know how it's going to happen. So the best thing we can do right now is prevention. Prevention, Dr. Shada, यही हम कर सकते हैं.
मलेरिया ये तो कि यहाँ पे वाटर प्रोटेक्शन है यहाँ पे.
And Dr. Shada is telling me that prevention, of course, that's what needs to be done. Prevention by aerial spraying. The government has to carry out sprays. They've got to remove the water. We've got to try and prevent the disease. And the other very important point, of course, Dr. Shada said that she personally has dealt with 2 snake bite cases. She doesn't have the antivenom here, so she had to refer them to Umerkot, where some antivenom is available. But these are things that the government needs to move on very, very quickly. We are joined now by Mr. Zahid Hussain, who is from Noto village. This is his village. He is foreman here. आप कह सकते हैं, you're the village headman.
Social man and also a political person of this area.
Okay, so
also a social man.
Also
social man.
Mr. Hussain, can you tell me what kind of impact has this had, all these people who've come to your village?
Because this disaster is a very big disaster of our area. Since we can say the 100 years ago, this type disaster cannot come here. So then this whole situation, it's a very critical situation when few we can say the sectors can working here. Especially I am from here in the first day when this camp started, first person is come here, I am here. So if I can say that the police section, DPO Umerkot came here in first time, and he also gave us good results for his team and is also himself. But if we can say the other sectors, especially health plays a vital role. But DCO Umerkot, he cannot play his role. I can say in your channel to him that it's the time of the working of the DCO Umerkot, but I'm sorry to say that this person cannot come here. He cannot give us food. DPO Umerkot especially give me the rescue food about 10 or 8 days. Then after that, our MPs, MNS, they can give me 35 dags in, we can say. Right. But about 25 to 25,000 families.
25,000 families are here
in this camp until first day. Ms. DPO was with me at the time. About over 1 lakh person came in this camp. Yeah. So at that time, God is with us. He help us with other sources. Right. Only police and PPHI government sector in health help us. I am thankful for them, DPO Umerkot and PPHI health.
What's PPHI?
PPHI, the private sector joint with government in medical side.
Okay, so that's a clinic.
No, it's another thing. Okay. And NGOs में SAMI, Thardeep, NRSP, HANDS. These 4 NGOs, they do excellent work here, excellent. Okay. And I congratulate them. I salute them. And from
now, tell me, sir, what do you need now? What do you need for the future?
The rescue need is the food, shelter. But in that time, the very, very important thing is shelter. Shelter, food, and then medicine. Yes, medicine. These 3 sectors are running here about 2 months future here. So in shelter field, we are at 0 level. No anyone government sector, no any selected our MPs, MNS came here and give me shelter. We can say that the NGOs, they give me about 1,000 tents. But it's not enough.
That's not enough.
It's more than people's. About now at time, 50,000 people are sitting in this camp. Okay.
Now, one of the biggest things we are fearing is dengue virus has been reported in 2 or 3 cases. Yeah. Are you prepared for that kind of problem?
I have reported that the 2 persons are dengue virus we can say that clear 5 from there. But this area of our Thar is in there is the mosquitoes level is very low than the level of Punjab or and the interior.
But there's a lot of water now. You see, that's a problem.
No, for the and that cause that is the ratio of the mosquitoes. Yeah. But doctors play the vital role, and inshallah Allah help us. I say to international community, we are in trouble, we are in very difficult time. Please come here, give us support. Our agencies, our country's leadership cannot help us. So I say to message to your channel to the international communities to come here, give him our help in shelter, in food, and in medicine especially, and then in other many other factors.
Okay, that was a passionate appeal from Mr. Zaid Hussain. It's gone out to you, the people, not just the international community. I will add my bit and say that the people of Pakistan, please listen to what Mr. Zaid Hussain is saying. We need help here. The people of Umerkot, Mirpurkhas, Sangha, Nawab Shah, Badin, all of them need help. I'm here in Umerkot right now where people are doing what they can. The police here is doing everything that they possibly can. Nobody else has managed to come here. So please, if you're listening to this program, if you're watching this program, now is the time to step up and make sure that we get the help for these people that they so desperately need. And we've spent 3 days in interior Sindh. Most of our time has been spent in Umerkot. Of course, we have stopped in Mirpurkhas. We've travelled the far reaches of this district as far as we could. And we tried to bring you the story of what is happening in these far-flung areas. The stories we have seen, heard, absolutely devastating. I don't know how much we've been able to convey to you. I again always say that we can only give you a microcosm of what's happening. Ghost villages, destroyed homes, people's lives uprooted. It's been a hard 3 days, and I have to say some of the thoughts, share those thoughts with you. There were times when I felt frustrated and angry when I would find a bug in my food, and then I would be grateful that I had something to eat. At night when bugs would crawl my face or I'd be bitten by mosquitoes, I was grateful for the fact that I had a room to sleep in where I could pick up those bugs, throw them out, and put on mosquito repellent. I had clean water to drink. I had food to eat. It is so easy for us to sit at home and complain or just turn our TV sets off when we see images we don't like to see. But these are images that is important to see. Having been here myself, I leave a little bit of my heart behind here in Umerkot. The devastation, the people, they're beautiful people. They're wonderful. Everywhere we've gone, people have greeted us with love, affection, and pleas for help. And that is what we need to do right now as a nation, as a society. We need to help those in need. Quatrina Hussain for Witness in Umerkot, Sindh.